I never thought I wasn't a girl. So I was born female, and I've transitioned into a masculine person. Growing up, I never felt trans. I can't be like, oh yeah, when I was 2, I knew I was a boy. Like, that's not true for me. When I first transitioned, I thought that I had to conform to a gender. My identity is very genderqueer. I'm masculine and I love being on testosterone, and I'm just a lot more masculine in my character. But I wasn't born male and will never understand what it feels like to be raised in a world as a man. There's gender, there's sexuality, and then there's biology. Female, obviously, the doctor assigns you a certain something because of the genitalia you have. Male, you're assigned something because of the genitalia you have. So my genitalia allows me to get pregnant. The reality of my upbringing is very that much of a Latina woman, and I had to embrace that. It took a while for me to embrace that. Everybody that I know and everybody that I love and everybody that supports me is okay and thinks that I'm a seahorse, which is awesome because I am a seahorse. And seahorses do their magic, and that's kind of where my path is now. My dad loves me deeply, and he is completely supportive of me being trans. He calls me his son. He's really excited that I'm pregnant. He's excited to be a grandpa, but more so he's like, oh, you're such a handsome pregnant man. Like, that's the things he says, which I think is awesome. His parents are Pentecostal pastors, and they own their own church. So they're really, really religious, and he has to sit there and be like, that's my son, like, deal with it. My doctor once, I told her I was born in the wrong body. I said, oh yeah, I was born in the wrong body. She looked at me, she said, no, you're not. You were born in Alex's body, you're just making it more comfortable. My doctor happens to be one of the very few doctors in my hospital that is trained to deal with trans people. I am her first trans pregnant person. So she's like, all right, just, Alex, correct me when I mess up, and just, it's gonna be, just be patient. I've gone to urgent care a couple times, and I've had a couple technicians and a couple nurses who have been really inappropriate. Like, how'd you get pregnant? How are you giving the birth? Do you still have a vagina? Which makes no sense when you're a medical professional. What is it? Is it a boy or a girl? Is it a boy or a girl? Is it a boy or a girl? And even the people who are conscious, even the people who are like, I've told many times that I don't care if it's a boy or girl, they're still obsessed with if it's a penis baby or a vagina baby. I started to take testosterone when I was 19, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. Being on testosterone makes me a really happy person. It makes me feel really good inside, and it makes me feel like I'm complete. When I'm on testosterone, I feel really balanced. I also feel like I look sexy as hell. When I'm not on testosterone, I don't feel complete and I feel funky. In order to get pregnant, I had to get off of testosterone. So I was on testosterone for maybe about 2.5 years. Being off of testosterone is actually really difficult for me. I've had this conversation with my partner several times, and there's always that, like, you didn't have to, you didn't have to do this, but I want to be pregnant, so that's a whole other conversation. But there's a strength that comes with transitioning, and I say that because I chose to transition. I chose that. I didn't choose to be trans, but I chose to physically transition and to walk in this world as my true self. That is a reality. The strength I think is fueled by making sure that I live in my full self, so that my children and my sister can live in their full selves. And then other people can say, oh, I saw Alex once, I met him once, and he lived in his true self. I'm not gonna let anybody stop me. I can go on a spiel of how, like, my grandma's really strong, and my mom's still alive, and she's been through a lot, and some of my aunties struggle, but I can't say that it comes from there. I think that is partially it. And I think most of it is like wanting to survive and wanting to continue to live. I think is where the strength comes from. My co-parent, who I'm poly, so my partner has a partner. They've been together for 7 years. Her and I have been together for 4 years. So there's 3 parents in this baby's life. And my co-parent is also really excited. So the 3 of us are all really excited to live one happy life with this baby. And many babies to come.